Hey YouTube, it's that blonde kid here with a deck profile that I thought you guys might enjoy. Um, it's kind of a quirky deck. It's a Destiny Hero Watt Chaos. Um, me and my friend worked on it together because he's obsessed with Destiny Heroes and like splashing it in every deck possible. So I thought, well, Chaos is pretty good, so what light archetype can we do? And then he was like, Light Sworns, and I'm like, that's old school Light Sworn Destiny Heroes. Let's do something new. So I decided Watts. And the deck turns out to work pretty good. It does nothing but plus. You always have like 7, 8 cards in your hand. It's ridiculous. And the deck basically just pecks at your opponent with Watt monsters until you can drop like the crucial BLS or Chaos Sorcerer and swing for game. So let's go over the deck. 2 dashers. In anything D hero, dasher is really what you want. You just drop it for D draw, and then you draw into anything, and you can any 4-star monster, and you can special summon it with his effect while he's in the graveyard once while he's in the graveyard. So and then there's multiple cards in the deck to reuse his effect. So 2 Diamond Dudes. He's just a good card. You reveal a spell for him off the top of your deck and send it to your graveyard, and then you can use it next turn without any cost or anything like that. So and the way that it's ruled is that you don't have to pay the cost when you do it because you're activating it from the graveyard. You never actually play it. So stuff like Lightning Vortex and Allure of Darkness, you don't have to remove the dark, and you don't have to discard a card. So or with D-Draw, I think that D-Draw is ruled that way. You might not have to discard the Destiny here. I'd have to look that up, but so that's pretty cool. 1 Fearmonger. He's just the best thing to do with him is you have Dasher in your grave, and you draw into him, so you special him in like defense, and then when he gets killed, you special Dasher and use Dasher until he gets killed. Then he's back in the graveyard to be used again. So that works. 1 Doomlord. This card is like ridiculously awesome. Just like minus your opponent's creature. It's just really good. Especially with creatures that can't be returned to the field. So I think it's ruled like that. Whatever. Stratos. This should be obvious. It searches out any D hero that you have in the deck. 3 Watt Giraffes. He's not necessarily the best Watt card, but he's cute, and he has 1200 attack, so that's a little bit better than most Watt monsters. And his effect is pretty good. You just during your main phase 1, you don't do anything but play him and swing, and then your opponent can't activate anything for the rest of the turn. And then in main phase 2, you go off and play up all your stuff that you were afraid of, like getting negated or whatever. So that works pretty good. 3 Watt Cobra. This is another main way that you plus in this deck. You just swing and then get a Watt monster to your hand, so that you always have a hand, which is pretty good. You go Watt Cobra into Watt Cobra into Watt Cobra, and then into like a giraffe or something. And then I have ways of recycling all the Watt monsters. So 3 Dragonflies. The card is awesome. You just set it face down, and they run into it, and you just search out any other one of your Watt monsters. So, just a good card. And if your opponent has multiple monsters, you can go Dragonfly into Dragonfly into Dragonfly into, Giraffe or something. Another plus is Dimensional Alchemist. He's just a really tough card. I mean, you can make him an 1800 for the turn. He's like a Card Trooper, basically, which I actually was thinking about putting in here. The only problem I have with him is that he's Earth, and this is a Chaos deck, but you remove the top card of your deck, he gains 500 attack, and then when he dies, you return a remove from play monster to your hand. And this works better in late game than early game, but it works fine either way, because in late game, after you remove like a Dasher and a Watt Giraffe to play BLS, then after you play Dimensional Alchemist, then when he gets destroyed, you can add one of the remove from play cards to your hand. So that's good. Summoner Monk. There are no traps in this deck, just spells, so this works good with him. You can go Summoner Monk into Dimensional Alchemist, use Dimensional Alchemist to remove I don't know. There's just all kinds. You could get out, use him to get out Diamond Dude, and then use Diamond Dude's effect, or use him to get out Doom Lord. I think you can get out. Oh, it's just level 4, but you can use him to get Stratos to search. There's just a lot of good stuff for him. 2 Exodus, the Ultimate Forbidden Lord. He shuffles your entire graveyard back into your deck, and then you can swing for 0, especially after you've cleared your opponent's field. You swing for 0 and use his effect to drop a Dasher into the grave. That's really all he's used for, is to get a Dasher into the grave. And you take damage, but it's worth it to get that Dasher into the grave for more pluses. And Honest, most of your monsters that you have in attack mode are... I am getting a phone call. How awkward. Hello? You're interrupting a YouTube video.
Really?
Yep. So on video, I have you talking on the phone with me on YouTube. Oh, this is a shout out from That Blonde Dog. Yeah, check him out. He's one of my YouTube friends and real life friends. So, yeah, he's my protege in real life. So, yeah. I gotta get off the phone. I have to finish this stupid video. Just text me. Bye. My bad, guys. So Honest, most of the cards in the deck are light monsters, and like Watt Giraffe, Watt Cobra, they're all in attack mode most of the time, so you just drop Honest. Players think that they'll get you. They're like, psh, now he has a Watt Cobra in attack mode, I'm gonna swing over that, and you're like, bitch, please. 2 Effect Veilers. I mean, there shouldn't be any explanation for that. Effect Veiler's an amazing card. So, and then the finishers are 2 Chaos Sorcerers and a BLS. I'm thinking about putting a 3rd Chaos Sorcerer in, but I'm not sure what I would take out, because I can get out any of these as soon as I draw them. If I draw them anytime mid-game, I can get them out, because I always have stuff in the graveyard. So that's it for the monster lineup. I think there's 29 monsters. Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 28 monsters and 12 spells. So the deck's pretty monster heavy, but the deck is all, like, the monsters are what makes the deck. So let me just scrunch these up and move on to spells. Alright, 2 Destiny draws, no explanation. You have D heroes in the deck, you run Destiny draw. 2 Smashing Grounds, it's just good for getting rid of the big monster that your opponent has that you can't get over, because the deck doesn't really have much power except for Chaos Sork and BLS. 2 Recycling Batteries, gets back your Watt monsters. That's it. And then staples: Monsterborn, Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, Lightning Vortex, and MST. Lightning Vortex is an amazing card. It's really underrated, but it's so good in this format right now, especially since it's at 3, even though I can't imagine a deck that you'd run 3 in. And Allure of Darkness, because you have some dark monsters. So that's the deck, and for an extra deck, you just run basically any 4-star tuner, because just everything in your deck, except for the Dragonflies, the Dasher, and the finishers, are 4-star. So, or that's a little shaky. Majority of the things in the deck are 4 stars, so you just run any 4-star Exceed, and that's good. So that's the deck, guys. Comment on what you think of it. If you have the cards, you should really try it out. It's a fun deck. I played it at a locals and went 3-2, and I only lost those other 2 games off of a stupid misplay that I did. Because this deck requires a lot of skill. You have to know what you're doing, or you're just not going to do good with it. I summoned Exodus too early in one game, and he got run over by a huge monster, and that took me way too far down to come back. And I should have played him the next turn, because I had a Lightning Vortex in hand. It was a bad idea. And then in the second game, I can't remember what I did, but it was just another mistake that I should have done something else, and I'm still working with the deck. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. That's it.